For decades, the world has viewed North Korea as a hermit, a fortress of isolation. We've watched their parades and heard their rhetoric, but the borders remained closed. But what if the status quo shattered? Imagine a scenario where the supreme leader decides that his millions of soldiers are no longer just for show. What happens if Kim Jong-un officially joins the front lines of a major global conflict? Today, we aren't just looking at a regional skirmish, we're looking at the potential spark of World War III. This is the breakdown of the unthinkable. Why would Kim Jong-un take such a massive risk? In geopolitics, nothing is free. North Korea's entry wouldn't be about ideology, it would be a cold, hard transaction. Kim needs three things: food security, advanced satellite technology, and nuclear submarine blueprints. By providing 100,000 volunteers to a major ally, he secures the future of his dynasty. But there's a darker reason: combat experience. The North Korean People's Army is massive, but it hasn't fought a real war since 1953. Sending troops into a modern, drone-dominated battlefield is the ultimate training ground. It's a move that transforms a paper army into a battle-hardened force. If North Korean boots hit the ground, the tactical landscape changes instantly. First, let's talk about the steel rain. North Korea possesses one of the largest artillery stockpiles on the planet. Millions of 152mm shells would flood the front lines. In a war of attrition, this isn't just an advantage, it's a nightmare for the opposition. Then there's the Special Operations Force. North Korea has roughly 200,000 highly trained commandos. Unlike the standard conscripts, these units are trained for sabotage, mountain warfare, and high-risk infiltration. If Kim Jong-un deploys these specialized units, we would see a surge in behind-the-lines chaos, targeted strikes on supply hubs and infrastructure that could paralyze an entire defense network. However, there is a catch. These troops are entering a world of electronic warfare. How does a soldier trained in 20th century tactics survive a 21st century FPV drone? The learning curve would be bloody and fast.
This is where the what if gets truly dangerous. The moment North Korea enters a foreign war, the Korean Peninsula becomes the most dangerous place on Earth. South Korea cannot sit idly by. If they see their northern neighbor gaining combat experience and advanced Russian or foreign tech, Seoul might be forced to respond. This could mean South Korea sending its own world-class K-2 tanks or even their own volunteers to the opposing side. Suddenly, a localized conflict has become a proxy Korean war fought on foreign soil. Japan, fearing a more powerful North Korea, would likely accelerate its rearmament. The United States would find its pivot to Asia suddenly pulled back into a global firestorm. One move by Kim Jong-un forces every superpower to pick a side.
But for Kim, this gamble has a fail state. If his troops are slaughtered on a foreign field, or if mass desertions occur once they taste life outside the Hermit Kingdom, the myth of the invincible army crumbles. If North Korean soldiers begin to surrender or defect in large numbers, the information they bring back could destabilize the regime from the inside. Kim Jong-un is playing a game of poker where the stakes are his own life. If he wins, he becomes a global power broker. If he loses everything. Is the reward of new technology worth the risk of a military coup or a weakened border at home?
The entry of North Korea into a modern war would be the definitive end of the post-Cold War era. It signals a world where borders no longer matter and alliances are drawn in blood and artillery shells. It's a scenario the world's generals hope stays in the realm of theory, because if the Hermit Kingdom finally steps out of its shell, there's no going back. What do you think? Would North Korea's involvement end the war quickly or just start a bigger one? Let us know in the comments.